You look at them, they look at you. Eyes are same, change the point of view. You are all the same, they are the special few. You are all the same, they are the special few. Mental health is less understood and less accepted by people. Lack of knowledge, ignorance and misconceptions create barriers in seeking mental health care. Mental disorders are one of the most serious health risks faced by India. The Government of India has been very responsible and active in playing its part for the development of the mentally ill people. There is a very efficient legal framework to help and ensure the survival and integration of the mentally ill in the society. The Mental Health Act was implemented by Government of India in 1987 for governing issues concerned with mental disorders.
The Mental Health Act is more concerned about the illness part, the cure part, the treatment part, the mental asylums, halfway homes, the legalities, the procedure, the system, that how a person with mental illness should be handled. In fact, it makes mandatory for the police, for the society to provide support to people with mental illness. Now there is the duty of the state to provide treatment, the right treatment to such persons. There is a Supreme Court judgment which has banned chaining of such people, are confining them to ill-managed special asylums or home. Now we are not talking about mental illness as something where people need to be confined. Here the meaning is they need to be treated, they need to be accepted, they need to be respected. Their living conditions, their treatment conditions have to be assured, and that's the essence of act which covers persons with mental health, and it's called Mental Health Act.
The work for people with mental illness has got a new impetus with adoption of Persons with Disabilities Act 1995.
Now the second act, which is the Persons with Disabilities Act 1995, section 2 of that covers 7 disabilities. Out of the 7 disabilities, one disability is mental illness. The meaning is that after 7th February 1996, all the privileges which are available to persons with disabilities are now, as I mentioned earlier, automatically available to persons with mental illness also.
This Act of Parliament created history by defining mental illness as a disability. Thus, since 1995, there are 2 acts governing the mental health issues, the Mental Health Act and Persons with Disabilities Act. The Government of India took a very encouraging step by making mental disorders as a part of the disability movement.
Just to mention this idea scale which has been developed by the team of psychiatrists. Now this scale has been accepted in our country for the assessment of mental illness and for giving certificate of persons with mental illness.
There is a government policy of giving them some advantage, so they require certificate from civil surgeon. So my certificate evaluation report would go to civil surgeon, and based on that civil surgeon would endorse and then give them some identity card.
This certificate is mandatory for taking all the benefits or other concessions which are available under the Act. Now, as per the Persons with Disabilities Act, these people with mental illness are eligible for education, for training, for employment, for job reservation, for unemployment allowance, for special pension, and they have recourse to the law under the system of Commissioner Persons with Disabilities in every state and the Chief Commissioner Persons with Disabilities in the central government. So if there is any infringement of the law or the law has been broken in context of mental illness, one can take the recourse to the commissioner or to the respective high courts, and this protection is now available. First time the idea scale became functional. The first step was to bring all the psychiatrists together and teach them and to tell them how to use the idea scale. I am very glad many of them are now using idea scale for giving the certificates. Now the first problem which occurred was the shortage of medicines. So many people got ready after they were convinced, they were motivated, they were informed that by taking the right treatment, right medicines, they can improve. So there were long queues of people who started coming to primary health centers, psychiatric centers, and started asking for the medicines. It was very nice of the government to allocate an additional budget, and today the condition is thousands and thousands of such people who were wandering in the villages. They were taken as mad fellows. They are back to the fold of the family.
પછી એક જાહેરાત આવી કે આપણા અમુક સરકારી દવાખાનામાં જ આવે છે જે બી હોસ્પિટલમાં ડૉક્ટર દર મંગળવારે લગભગ 2 વર્ષ અમે દવા ત્યાંની જ ચાલુ હતી દર મંગળવારે જતા તમે પછી વચમાં બંધ થઈ ગઈ પછી કોઈ એમ એક ભાઈ એવા મળ્યા બીમારી હતા અમારી બાજુ મિસ્ત્રી કરી મંગાવે કરી એવા કે તમે કમલેશના દવાખાના ડૉક્ટર આવો છો તે લઈ જાઓ તમે તત્કાલી ગાડી કરીને તો ઉઠાઈ તો અમે 15 દિવસ રાખ્યા 15 દિવસમાં દવા કરી અત્યારે હાલ આ ભાઈને તે જ દવા ચાલુ છે
આ સોળી ખા ના કે મારા લુગડા બગડે કે નથી ખાવી કોઈ બોલે ના રાતે બોલતી નથી રાતે અત્યારે બોલવા પોતાની પણ ઓછું બોલે નક રાતે ઊંઘ ના આવ્યો તો તો એમ કે રાતે અમુક પાછો નવરાત્ર આવી ને
બીજું કોણ કોણ છે એમના ઘરમાં
એ મારા હું મારા દિયર જેઠ ને બધા
એ તમારી નણંદ છે
હા
આ નાનંદ થાય ગોડો છે ને એમને નાનંદ થાય
અહીંયા ગામમાં બધા લોકો એને ગાંડા ગાંડા કઈ હેરાન કરે છે
ના એ તો નહીં કરતું કોઈ
કોકના ઘર પડે તો ખમવું પડે ગોડા શું કરવાનું
કેટલા સમયથી છે રમણભાઈને તકલીફ
20 વર્ષથી છે માગે તકલીફ આવે અત્યારે તો અમે આણંદથી ગોળીઓ લાયા 4-5 વાગે તો ઉઠી જ જાય અમને ખબર પડી જાય કાલી બધા ગોળીઓ આલી એટલે હું જાય એટલે હા આમ થોડુંક આજ તો પડ્યું આપણે સારું લાગ્યું.
With around 13 crore Indians suffering from some form of mental illness, depression and anxiety syndromes to psychosomatic disorders and schizophrenia, the government has finally woken up to the reality of mental disorders. The government of India has started a district mental health program which includes a very important component of social communication. Many state governments like Government of Gujarat are involving non-governmental organizations for promoting social communication by creating public awareness about mentally ill people. There is a lot of stigma attached to mental illness due to misconceptions and lack of knowledge. Social communication is the key to create a conducive environment for the mentally ill to flourish in.
આવી વ્યક્તિઓ સાથે કામ કેવી રીતે કરવું, એમની ઓળખ કેવી રીતે કરવી અને એમનું પુનર્વસન કેવી રીતે કરવું. તો પહેલાં તો એ ફિલ્ડ વર્કરોને અમે ટ્રેનિંગ આપીશું એટલે ટ્રેનિંગ લઈ અને પોતાના તાલુકામાં આવશે. હવે કે કપડોન તાલુકામાં એમને પ્રોજેક્ટ આપવો છે તો કપડોન તાલુકામાં કોઈ એવી એજન્સી છે તો વીએસ ગાંધી ચેરિટેબલ ટ્રસ્ટ એમણે પસંદ કરી. ખાસ તો તમે જોયું કે અવેરનેસ નથી લોકોમાં, જે જનજાગૃતિ હોવી જોઈએ એ લોકોમાં હજુ સુધી છે જ નહીં.
And to do that, we have to change public attitude. We have to create public awareness. Now, changing of attitude, creating of awareness, put together is now known as social communication, where we provide the right information in the right manner to the right people at the right place and in an accessible format. Fortunately, the national program which is being implemented at district level does provide lot of emphasis on social communication, public awareness, and we as an organization are covering 5 districts in the state of Gujarat where the local NGOs have taken the lead to identify such people, to refer such people, and most important, to spread the message, create the right communication give the right information, put the hoardings, put the wall paintings, etc., so that people are informed that mental illness can be treated. People with mental illness can go to the mainstream. They can also be productive, they can also be educated, they can also be employed, provided we create the right environment with the involvement of the family and the people around. That's only a beginning. We have to go a long way to see that such initiatives which have been taken under Persons with Disabilities Act, under Mental Health Act, under National Program on Mental Health, they become realities. A lot of things are happening. There are programs, there are activities, there are initiatives, and I wish that this message should be spread across the country, that there is a legal protection for the people who are employed and become mentally ill. They are eligible for pension, they are eligible for scholarship, they are eligible for education, they are eligible for admissions to the educational institute. There are mental health hospitals which are supposed to give free treatment. There are laws where the police is supposed to cooperate. There are judicial system which is supposed to give the orders. Now all these things put together, the objective is only one, that people with mental illness are human beings. Their right to live, right to progress, right to employment, right to social life, right to live like anybody else in the mainstream.
Let's raise a torch to enlighten this mind. Let's uplift some lives. Let's lend some hands. The future is bright for all of us. Let's show them the hope where the dark tunnel ends.